Jorge, first of all, what brings you up to Washington this time?
It has to do with many things, but mostly we've been trying to get for months an interview with Speaker Boehner, and he doesn't want to talk to us. So we've been waiting and waiting. I call from Univision in Espanol, and then I call from Fusion now in English, and we still don't get an answer. So I'm just going to go to a press conference and ask him a question. Why is he blocking immigration reform? They're blaming Democrats, and they're blaming President Barack Obama, supposedly for not enforcing the law. Just tell that to a Latino.
Right.
President Obama has deported more than 2 million immigrants in the last 6 years. So I'm here to try to talk to Speaker Boehner. Let's see if he wants to talk to us.
So immigration is one among several issues that matter to the Hispanic community in the United States. Obviously, there are a lot of those issues that I would certainly say get overshadowed in the mainstream media, whether that's broadcast, cable, even the newspapers. How do you feel like what you're doing at both Univision and at Fusion addresses those issues in ways that the mainstream media doesn't?
I mean, as Americans, the most important issues for Latinos are exactly the same. It's the economy, it's job, it's healthcare, but immigration is something personal for us. Half of all Latinos, so over 18 years of age, are immigrants. So obviously it's something very personal for us. But then I think we are doing things that other networks are not doing. Many Latinos don't understand why we're covering Ukraine so much in Crimea, and we're not doing the same with Venezuela. Venezuela is almost local news for us.
Right.
So those are the kinds of things that we know are important and that are simply not being covered. And that's something that you would find in every single day on Fusion.
And when you cover something like Venezuela, is the response from viewers
immediate?
Immediate.
It's just immediate because that's part of the world. And even those who were born here in the United States, they do understand that Latin America matters.
Right.
What I would say is that our world is much wider than you would actually see on network television.
Right. One area where the Hispanic audience is going to be extremely important is obviously the 2016 presidential election. We saw in 2012 there was a lot of hand-wringing among Republicans over not appealing to that community, which means I think it's fair to say that you guys will play a sort of central role in the 2016 election.
I certainly hope so. In the last election, 12 million Latinos went to the polls. In 2016, it's going to be 16 million Latinos. And in a very close election, most likely it's going to be a very close election, Latinos will decide who's going to be the next president of the United States. Now, Republicans, they really have to understand that if they don't get at least 33% of the Hispanic vote, they're going to lose again the White House.
Right.
Over and over again. And they don't seem to get it at this point because Mitt Romney tried to get the Hispanic vote by saying that self-deportation was the solution for immigration, and obviously that didn't work. So yes, I think Latinos will play a major role on one hand. On the other hand, for the first time in history, we might have more than one Hispanic candidate for the presidency. We have Senator Marco Rubio and Senator Ted Cruz, which is contradictory because most Latinos tend to vote Democrats. However, here you have two Republicans who are going to be running for the presidency. So whatever the case, we are doing something right.
Right. And do you feel like we're a long ways away from the sort of debate season, primary season, but do you feel like both parties, both Republicans and Democrats, are aware that they're going to need networks like yours to appeal to those candidates?
They are right now.
Okay.
In the past, what happened is that something that I call the Christopher Columbus syndrome, that they would rediscover us every 4 years, and then on an election year, and then they'll forget about it for 3 years completely. Fusion has replaced that vacuum, because now with Fusion, since it's in English, we don't need translation. The impact is immediate. Sometimes I would do a good interview in English. We would need to wait for the translation, put it on the air on Univision, nobody would know. And right now we do an interview for Fusion, and then the impact is immediate. People are responding immediately, the same day, even online, they're responding immediately. So I think we're the new player, and we should be playing a major role during the election. I think every single candidate, and I'm not exaggerating, but every single candidate is going to have to go to talk to us on Fusion and Univision to get to the White House, because without Fusion and Univision, no one really can make it to the White House.
And it's not just Hispanic networks either.
No.
It's very much you. For instance, Matt Drudge once said that you were one of the last real journalists standing. I mean, do you feel like you specifically as an individual are going to play a singular role in terms of how these candidates and these parties appeal to your audience during the course of 2016?
I wish, I hope I can have the possibility of just asking questions.
Right.
And I used to ask the same questions many years. I've been covering elections for, I don't know, 25 years in this country. But there were questions that at the end needed translation in Spanish. Mm-hmm. And so the impact was minimum. So I hope that definitely I'll have a possibility to ask more and more questions in this election, yes.